Hey guys, I'd like to go over the equipment that I bought from Amazon that has helped me with my outdoor and camping trips over the past few years and the ones that I have found worth the money. The first is the Klymit Insulated Static V Lite sleeping pad. The second is the Solo Stove camping stove with the accompanying windscreen. The third is the Morakniv Garberg full tang knife with sheath. Try not to cut myself. And the fourth is the Teton Sport Explorer 4000 hiking bag. Let's go over the equipment one by one. The first is the Insulated Static V Lite sleeping bag. It comes with the bag itself to hold it, the cinch bag, stuff bag. Stretches to about this long. So I'm about 6'4", and if I sleep fully on my back on this thing, it doesn't really work too well because my feet will just drape over the edges. So if you're a little bit on the taller side and you sleep on your back, this pad is probably not going to accommodate you that way. However, what I like to do is stuff this pad inflated into my sleeping bag, and I tend to sleep on my side, so curved up in almost a fetal position, it more or less accommodates me. So, however, it's comfortable otherwise, apart from a full-size air mattress. I'm gonna blow it up just to show you how it's done. So they say it's about 7 to 9 breaths to completely fill it up, so let's give it a shot. All right, a little lightheaded, but that was about 11 breaths to fully inflate it, and this is what it looks like. The one I have is orange on the top, black on the bottom. Material is fairly durable. I've not done anything silly like sleep on rocks directly. It's usually in the tent with me. I found that stuffing it in my sleeping bag works the best. So wear and tear wise, over about 3 to 4 years, I think 3 years when I got it, it's still pretty good, in pretty good shape. Blowing up is fairly simple. Just open the valve and blow. Deflating it is a little bit of a chore. And fold it, get all the air out. You probably have to do this 2 or 3 times. So here's the process that takes me. Still some air in there, yeah. Rolled up. The second one, this one I really love, is the Solo Stove camping stove. Comes with the cook pot, 1 liter, or I think a little over 30 ounces. It comes in stainless steel silver, but this is the condition that it's in after a couple of years of usage. And the stove itself comes with a stuff sack itself. Solo Stove also sells an alcohol fuel canister. That's separate. I bought that just in case. I've not actually used it yet, so I can't really talk to that. My fingers are dusty. Is the cook, the stove itself. So it packs away like this. You can flip it like that in order to start using it, and the pot sits on there. You stick twigs into there, roughly about 4 inches long and 1 or 2 inches thick, and start the fire on top, and it burns downwards. And what it does is these holes at the bottom, it draws air into the hole and then out to the top, and you get a fairly clean burning fuel for a firewood. As you can see, my hands are black from the soot on it. The only issues I've had with that is that in windy conditions, you have to protect the flame from the wind so that it doesn't go out, which leads me into this purchase here, the windscreen. This is the Solo Stove brand windscreen. And what it does is it effectively just sits in front of the stove and blocks the wind from reaching your fire so that it's able to work a little bit more effectively. One of the caveats about the Solo Stove though is that any cooking implement that you put on it will get completely blackened by the soot that comes out of it. This was this color, stainless steel, shiny when I first got it, but now it's just covered in soot. It doesn't affect the efficacy of the stove or how it works, but yeah, it's just like when you handle it, your fingers get pretty dirty. There we go. That's the Solo Stove packed up, and the windscreen is fairly simple. Third, oh no, there goes my table. Third is the Morakniv Garberg full tang knife. This is a great knife for the price. It is full tang, meaning that the metal runs straight from the tip all the way to past the hilt in this case. And what that does is it creates a very strong knife for doing things like batoning your wood. So batoning your wood is you get a piece of firewood and just hit it through and splitting it that way. The fourth is the Teton Sports Explorer 4000 in blue. It is, I think, 65 liters of capacity. It's full of clips and side pockets, a lot of compartments here. It's that fit knickknacks and whatnot. It's got a mesh pocket. Right now I just got a mirror in there on one side, a mesh pocket on the other side with a larger side pocket. This one actually fits a Solo Stove fairly well in there. In terms of weight, it's not terribly heavy, but it's not the lightest as well. And it's fairly durable. It's not waterproof, it's water resistant, but I've not had any troubles with it sitting at the bottom of the canoe and soaking water. It does come with a rain cover. So what I like to do is when I'm carrying this bag, if I'm putting in a canoe, I put the rain cover on the bag and flip it upside down so that water doesn't actually get into the bag. It just stuffs at the bottom here. It can be fully removed, but I don't find it is a bother to carry around, so I just keep it with me. And the back can be adjusted. It's currently on the largest position for me, but this Velcro strap just comes off and you can pull it off and readjust it in any of the slots. So it does the job. The price is good. Did I say 4? I meant 5 things that will help your trip from Amazon. This is the Sawyer Mini. This thing is awesome. So if you're going backcountry camping and you don't want to fiddle around with tablets or chlorine or anything, or boiling water, this thing has been great. It is filtered up to 0.1 microns. That means most bacteria, giardia, beaver fever, all that stuff, all that nasty stuff, but it will not filter out viruses. So don't use it in places that have raw sewage or sewage flowing into the water supply. That's the Sawyer Mini. I like to keep it in a Ziploc bag and also just another packing bag. This one's from MEC. MEC is a store in Canada if you're from the US. And it just very light. You can just drink from the water source directly with this, and it's fairly safe. I hadn't had any issues with it in the times I've used it in the backcountry in Algonquin or even in the Kawartha Lakes region. Highly recommend it. There you go. Those are my 4+1 recommended items from Amazon that you can use to help you with your next camping trip. Thanks, and see you again.